Okay, welcome everybody. Today is January 18th, 2025, and my name is Bianca Page Smith, and this is our first Q&A gathering. I'm considering this like a mini orientation to the Place to Be membership, and you all who are here with me right now are the very first, I would consider like the founding members, let's say, of the membership, because it's not even the doors haven't even officially opened yet, and each one of you has taken the time to make the choice to be here and to invest your resources, your time, your energy, your awareness to be here and be a part of this with me. So I'm just really happy that you're here. I'm excited to share some things with you today, to receive your questions, and yes, we are recording this because I do think that this conversation could be very helpful for those who could not make it today and also for future members who join us from next month onwards. So, before we dive in, we're just going to take a few breaths together. Is that okay with everybody? Yeah. Okay. So, I invite you to close your eyes if you want to. I'm going to close mine. And wherever you are in your breath cycle, just start by sighing the air out of your lungs. Ah. Breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. Last time for now, breathing in and breathing out. And if your eyes are closed, you can open them whenever you feel ready. Okay, everybody's back. So for me, the main reason why we're gathering today is because I really want you all to get started. If you haven't already logged into the portal, I just want you to start off on the right foot. I've been behind the scenes since October building this and putting resources into the portal. So it makes sense that I'd be very familiar with it. And I figured, okay, I may as well jump on with everybody and answer any questions and show you what we've got going. And just make sure that you understand at the very least how to access the resources that are available to you. I also intend to give you a little bit of a walkthrough of the content itself, just so that you have a sense of how I've created this program for you in my head. That does not mean by any means that you have to go through it the way that I created it, but I want you to know the way that I created it so that you understand what the intention is, and then you can go and, break the rules, so to speak, however you want, if you just want to jump around and listen to whatever workshop or webinar calls to you in that moment. So I definitely want to give you a sense of like how the program is designed to run, because there is a logic behind it. And I might highlight a few things in there as well. I love everything I've created, but I do have a few favorite things that I think are like particularly could be really helpful. And so I want you all to hear about that as well as a couple of recommendations. And I also want to make sure that I talk a little bit about Telegram, because I know that Telegram is not necessarily an app that everyone's familiar with, but it is for now, at least at the very beginning stages of this membership, it is the way that I have chosen to create a community-oriented component of the membership. Because you'll notice when you log in, you could be logged in and you have no idea that anybody else is logged in as well. It's really just a portal that shows you the information. So in order to also have access to me while you're going through it and be able to connect with other folks who are also going through this material, I've decided to use Telegram as a resource for us to communicate with each other. It's optional. It's included in your membership, but if you're more somebody who's like, I don't really want to do that, You absolutely do not have to. But if you find that you're someone who benefits or enjoys talking to other people about the things that you're learning, I imagine it's going to be a really great resource for that kind of a thing. And as I said, like I'll be in there monitoring the conversations, I'll be in there responding to people's questions directly. And I think it's going to be fun to have that. So I want to make sure that you all understand a little bit more about that and what's available to you. And I guess it's important for me to say as well that I don't want you to feel like if you choose not to use Telegram that you can't have access to me, because you can always send me an email if there's anything that you want to share or ask me about when you're going through the resources and learning things. So I don't want you to feel like it's peer pressure, right? Like if you want access to me, you better join the Telegram. Like that's not the way I work. So just make the choice that's best for you, but I want you to know what's available. And then we'll do some Q&A. If you don't have questions, it's totally okay. But if you do, I would love to hear them. I'm working on a manual for members to have access to that will have like all basic information that is available to kind of give them like a written version of this orientation. And part of it, I want to have an FAQ section. So I'm kind of hoping that maybe questions that come up through our chats today will also end up being included in the frequently asked questions. So no pressure, but your questions are totally welcome. Because otherwise, I'm just making them up right now about like, well, what do I think people might ask me about? So, um, please know that there's no such thing as a stupid question. I appreciate and respect all questions and I encourage them. Okay, so that's my plan for today. Do we have any questions or concerns before I start with all of that? No. Okay. All right, so I am going to share my screen for a moment because this first part of what I want to go through with you is just logging in. So I'm using the back end of my website to create this. We have an opportunity with the software that I use to create store items, and you can create courses with modules. So that's what I'm using. But it's not like a Mighty Networks or Teachable or these things that are actually created for courses. So that's why it's also a little bit wonky maybe to figure out how to get in there. But this is what I'm going to start with. And I'm really glad that you're all here to experiment with it until, maybe we figure out or I'll decide that, we need to move somewhere else. So I'm going to share my screen with you all so you can see this. Can you just give me a thumbs up or something in the chat you can see? Okay, perfect. Thanks, everybody. All right, so here we are. So you'll go to my website, biancapagesmith.com, and then up in the corner here, you'll log in. So I'm just going to log in with my other name that I use. Oops. Okay, so now I'm logged in. So the first way to see the information is to go up here. So once you log in, this will pop up, but it's not there unless you're logged in because it's a private membership page. So this is the first way to access your information. You'll click on a place to be, and this is a page that I've created to put everything together. So there's obviously some information here from me, and there's a bit of, structure that I've provided. And then you'll see right here, this is the stress management program tracks. So this is how you'll access all the information that's available to you. And as I continue to add things, and on the back end for me, I make them accessible to members, they will populate on this page as well. So if you want to access something, you just click access now, and you will be taken to the page where you can see everything. So one thing to keep in mind is that this is basically like your table of contents, right? So these are all the individual modules that you have available to you. And when you open up a specific module, you'll see all the different things that are available to you here. Even if you want to jump around, my recommendation is definitely to start with the welcome track because this is where you'll get to familiarize yourself with some of the important things that I think are foundational to being a part of the membership, like the logistical things, like your community agreements, and you can learn a little bit about my approach so you know a little bit more about who the heck this person is that's, created all these videos for you to watch. We have a welcome video here from me, and then you have a couple of basic foundational learnings, intro to stress, and a workshop building awareness of stress in your life, which happens to be one of my highlights. So I'm not going to talk about it now. So anyway, that's one way that you can access the information, okay? Is to click on the A Place to Be tab. Another way is to go, so once you're logged in, you'll see here that it won't say login anymore. It'll have this little person looking thing, unless you uploaded a photo, which I really should do. When you click on my account, you'll see here on the left-hand side, registrations, purchased things, right? Click on memberships. And then you click use this membership, and it will just take you to a page that says my membership access, and then it will equally show you all of the different things that you've been given access to as a member of A Place to Be. It doesn't have the page with all the other information, right? So that is just something to keep in mind. Another way that you can log in is through the app. So in here, I'll just point you to something where you can see a little bit more about this because I can't do this on my computer. But if you go into the welcome track, you'll see here where it says a tour of Place to Be. If you watch this tour at some point in here, trying to see where it is. At some point in here, I've logged in through the app. Yeah, there it is. There's around 7 minutes in. I've tried to log in through the app on my desktop, which is really not what it's used for. The app is really created for, you'll see that. Oops. The app is really created for iPads and mobile phones, but that's a really good thing for you to know because, you may start to, at first maybe you log in through your computer, but as you're going through this, you may realize like this is something I want to listen to when I'm taking a walk or when I'm driving to work or when I'm at the office. I'm pretty sure it is Android as well. Yes, I'm pretty sure it's iOS and Android. But if you discover that it's not available I think it's the Google Play Store, right, for Android. If you discover that it's not available, definitely let me know, but I'm pretty sure it is. And so, yeah, so I've logged in. I don't know if this is going to show you, but so the app looks like this because the blurry background is going to kill it. There. It looks like this. And then when you log in, there's my membership. And if I click access now, you can see all the things. See, there's the welcome track, da 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 da. So you could play these things off of your phone, which I think is really helpful because I know myself, I'm a member of two separate memberships at the moment for things that I want to obviously be a part of that support me. And I do most of my listening on my phone. And it's very helpful to be able to do that. So I'm very glad that they have the app because it makes it more accessible to folks. Okay, so this is the logging in business. Do we have any technical, logistical questions regarding logging in? I would love to hear if you do, or you can type in the chat as well. Everything's okay? Fernando, do you have a question? No. Okay. Okay. All good. Okay. If there's any trouble when you're trying to log in at any future point, just let me know. And we'll sort it out. Hopefully it won't be a problem. Okay, so I want to go now through the content itself and just explain to you what is in the portal, what's available to you. And I'll highlight a few of my favorite things, even though I already spoiled one of them, but c'est la vie. Okay. So I'm back to sharing the screen. Can you all see the screen? Yes. Okay, brilliant. Okay, so I want to go here. The program structure is as follows. So the way that I have created this is in my head, this is a comprehensive stress management program that promises a few things. The first thing that it really promises is that you will have an in-depth understanding of what is called your stress profile. And then from there, you will also engage in a dialogue with yourself and myself on the video of understanding more about what stress actually is, how it shows up in your life. And you will look at that through the lens of your stress profile. So it will help you to gain a personal understanding of what stress really means and how it shows up in your specific life, in your body, in your circumstances. So that's a big part of what this program promises, is that you'll have an in-depth understanding of that stress profile, as well as hopefully a greater awareness of stress, what it is, and how it shows up in your life. You will also receive a solid foundation in how to create healthy habits that stick. And you will receive you'll create it yourself, but you'll be guided through the opportunity to create a well-rounded stress management portfolio. You'll have the opportunity to assess yourself as many times as you want using the stress assessment to update your stress profile as you continue to go through the program and learn the tools, as well as testing them out, as well as developing an awareness of what stress feels like in your body. Each one of you know me, and so you know that movement is a really big part of my life and also my approach to supporting people. So developing an awareness of what stress feels like in your body is also a big promise of this program, that you'll really start to get to know what it feels like when you're stressed, because so many of us are used to ignoring it and we get really good at ignoring it. You'll also receive a simple movement practice to support you to relieve stress, which each one of you has already experienced. And you will hopefully also be able to create an ability to know what tools you need and when. So that's the promise of this program, and I've structured it through the following tracks. We've got the welcome track where you'll get an introduction to what stress is, and you'll go through one of my favorite offerings in the membership, which is building an awareness of stress in your life. And this is really where you will get the opportunity in this track and in this workshop in particular to ask yourself, what does stress mean to me and what does it look like? You'll start to establish, like, what is my actual reference point for stress? And then I'll offer some information in this workshop that will hopefully actually expand, if necessary, your view of stress and help you to just ask yourself, do I need to reorganize this or not? So you'll go through your welcome track, and at the end of the welcome track, you'll take this assessment. It's called How Stressed Are You? Your stress quiz. And you'll evaluate it based off of the results. So this PDF is the results, but that's also in the welcome track. Okay. So you go through the welcome track one by one in there. By the end of it, you will have gone through the basic foundations and you'll have done your assessment and evaluated your results. Then from there, you move on to the 3Cs track. And this is a shortened name for 3Cs process to create a habit or to build a habit. This is a process that I've been working on for like 6 years now. And it's a simple three-part, three-pillar framework that supports people to really, truly build habits that stick. In my opinion, knowing how to build a habit is one of the things that makes or breaks people's stress management journey. Because if you don't know how to build a habit and actually stick with it, it can be very challenging, even if you know exactly what you need to do. I'm super stressed out. I need to meditate more. Okay, that's great. But if you don't know how to walk yourself through the habit building process, you're going to try to meditate. You might get really, be really eager, do it for a few weeks, and then fall off the bandwagon. And then it's like, oh, meditation is not for me. It's like, is it not for you, or is it that you need the structure to be able to support you to stick with the process long enough to discern whether it actually is a tool for you or not? So that's part of what we talk about in the 3Cs track. And in the rest of the tracks, I will consistently revisit the 3Cs process to help you to evaluate how you're going to use all the tools that I present to you. Moving forward into the learn something track, from there, you will dive deep into your stress profile. So there's 4 major components. There's one module for each component. And then there's also a workshop in there that teaches you how to understand your stress portfolio. When I highlight some of my favorites, I'll double click on that one as well. After that, you go into the do something track, and this is where you learn to do things to help you to manage your stress. I've highlighted a few different tools that I would consider to be extremely supportive and beneficial when it comes to managing stress. And the rest track is the same. So the do something and the rest track, those are two tracks that are very practical. Every module in there is going to be taking you through an experience of a potential stress management tool. And at the end of each of those modules, you'll be given the opportunity to make a choice about whether you want to experiment with that tool or not. Okay, obviously the rest ones are more restful type activities, and the do something track is more activities that are not that they're not like restful, they could be, I'm sure, but they're more active, in my opinion. And it doesn't mean that you're going to be like running a marathon through like this program. So you don't have to worry that like I'm going to make you do crazy stuff because none of it, in my opinion, is crazy. And it's your choice. You're self-paced. You have access to it 24/7. So you could watch anything you want to and you can skip anything you want to. So that's the basic structure. You go through welcome, 3 C's, then you go learn something, do something, rest. Okay. My recommendation is that you spend 3 months going through this. Okay. Now, you could binge watch this like Virgin River on Netflix if you wanted to. Okay. You can. And that's totally fine if you do. However, my recommendation is that you spend 3 months to do it because I think it's worth spending a few days to a week on each module. Give yourself the time to listen to it more than once. Give yourself the opportunity to go through the reflection questions at the end of each module and really give yourself the opportunity to integrate these things into your life. What's so powerful about doing something like this is that you get the opportunity to let it shift your perspective and your perception of the world. And the way that that happens, in my opinion, is that you go through things with enough time to be able to let something sink into your body through observing it in your life. So you learn something in this membership, and then you go out into the world and you live your life and you start to realize, oh, hey, I didn't notice this before, but now I'm starting to notice that when I'm driving to work, my hands get really cold and clammy. I wonder if I'm stressed out about sitting in traffic or if I'm stressed out about going to work because maybe I don't really want to go to work today or whatever, right? You start to notice these little things because of what you're allowing yourself to receive through the learnings in this program. So 3 months is my recommendation, but I'm obviously not going to be monitoring anybody. I welcome you to go through the process in your own timing, however it feels right for you. Let me highlight a few things that I love. I'm going to repeat myself, but in the welcome track, I love this workshop here, building awareness of stress in your life. It's just wonderful. It's a really powerful opportunity to just really start to anchor yourself into like, what does stress mean to me? Because so many people think stress equals bad. And this workshop will challenge that for you and hopefully in a good way. So that's one that I love. Another one that I love, one of my favorites, is the celebration deep dive. When it comes to building habits, celebrating every step along the way is such a powerful tool to utilize your inherent biology to your advantage. You want to use your brain to support you to make it easier for you to do the things that you want to do. And when we go deep into talking about the concept of celebration, I think that's a great opportunity to learn more about that. So that's one of my highlights as well. I'm just going to try to highlight one per track because otherwise I'll highlight the whole dang thing and we'll just all be here all day. Okay. So this one, I love the workshop, Understanding Your Stress Profile. But what I will say is this, I'm going to bypass that because that's just like favoritism. And in terms of what I think is really a core, potentially also like transformative teaching in this track is the stress tolerance point webinar. Because I don't know how many people actually understand that there's such a thing as a stress tolerance point and that it's unique to you. Like when I learned that, like here, I'll back it up. I'm not going to say because I don't know how many people know this, but it's not my business either to like you know, make those kind of judgments. So speaking for myself, when I learned about the stress tolerance point, I was blown away. And I was thinking to myself, why doesn't the whole world know about this? Everybody has their own bucket that's called the stress bucket, and it's as big as it is for each person, and only they know how big it is and how many things can fit in it and before it gets to the point where it's overflowing. So this is a really great webinar that I encourage you to dive into, and it's yeah, it's a very powerful piece of information to have on your stress management journey. Okay, let's highlight something from do something. Oh. So this is a weird thing that will happen too. If you haven't ever accessed something before in your membership, you'll have to go through this and click access now. Okay. I don't know why, but as I said, this is just me making the best out of the software that I have access to. So in the do something track, right now, I'm still recording a lot of these as of the moment of talking with you today. So there's not everything's not in there, but I did a really lovely webinar on journaling as a tool for stress management, and I highlighted two different ways that you could use journaling as a tool. So I think that would be a really great one. Building your stress management portfolio is an awesome offering because it's an opportunity for you to receive another simple framework, a three-part framework, once again, of how to discern for yourself, what do I need to do when I'm stressed? And you'll get a very simple question to ask yourself and figure out how to discern which answer is the correct answer for you in that moment. Okay, and then the rest track, I have not recorded anything in the rest track yet, except for redefining rest, which also happens to be a highlight for me. I love this workshop. It's another one that I think is going to hopefully open some perspective up and just help you to rediscover some of your own wisdom. And basically, the main point of it is rest is not just about sleeping. And that's why I love this workshop. Okay, enough is enough of that. So that's content stuff. Any questions about any of the content? Does the structure of the program make sense that there is a structure to go through and it offers things that kind of build on one another? Can you all see that? Yeah. Okay. Do you have any thoughts or questions about it?
I was going to ask you about the structure, and then I was going to ask you if there was, a kind of time frame in which we should pace ourselves through the course, but you've answered that, so I'm all
Okay,
good.
good. That's great. Yeah. As I said, like it's obviously up to you, but the 90 days, like 3 months is my recommendation just because I feel like we need the time. And also 90 days is like not so long that it's like, oh my God, it's gonna take me forever to do this. Nothing's ever gonna change, you know? You could actually transform your life completely if you really bring your whole heart into this program. I genuinely believe that if you spend the next 3 months going through it wholeheartedly to the best of your ability, your life will be different by the end of it. So that's just I can't guarantee it, but I believe that there's the potential for that to happen. And really, the way that that happens is whatever you choose to bring to the opportunity that you have when you receive the information. So I'm rooting for you. I want to go through this program myself. I think I'm going to do it. Like I might do like a members challenge or something, and like we'll all go through it at the same time. I think that would be fun. All right, let's talk about Telegram. Unless there's anything else, is there any other thoughts or questions that folks have? No. Okay, perfect. So Telegram is an app that is used for messaging, okay? And it's very similar to WhatsApp in some ways. Some people compare it to Slack, so it's kind of like something like that. I don't know why I picked it. I just think I like it because I'm also in a membership that uses Telegram as well. And I just find it to be nice. You have some features that I really like. So I'm going to try to open it up just for you all to see. I've created a channel and a group. Let me just share. Okay, so here's Telegram. And this is a place to be. This is our group chat. And you'll see right here that there's 3 members already. So you're encouraged to download the Telegram app and just click on the links. You receive them in the email, but they're also in the portal. In the welcome track, there's a little module or a little content tab that says join Telegram. And I will continue to add. So basically what will happen is eventually I will populate this group with multiple different things. Right now there's a general channel, there's an FAQs and logistics channel, and eventually I'll start adding other channels, right? Maybe there will be a Q&A channel, or maybe I'll start creating specific channels for whatever themes we're working through, whatever workshop we are doing. If there's any reflections or shares that I welcome from certain workshops, or maybe I'll have a channel for each of the tracks. I haven't decided it yet, but this is something that I definitely welcome, folks' questions or folks' ideas about. But this is going to be our place to communicate with each other. So I really encourage you to join us. It will be a place where you have access to me directly as well. Yes, I can show you where it sits on the website. So let's go back to Google Chrome. So if we go into the welcome track, join our Telegram community. Okay, so this is the link to download it through the App Store, the link for Google Play, and the link for desktop. So you can download whichever version suits you best. And then this link will take you directly to the group that I just showed you. And this link will take you to the channel. And the difference between the group and the channel is the group is a place where we can talk to each other, and the channel is like a one-way communication. So when you join the channel, it'll just be when I want to share announcements, reminders, things like that. You won't necessarily have the opportunity to respond back to anything, but in the group, that's where you can pose your questions, you can reply to others' comments, you can, tag me in things if you want me to respond to certain things that you're sharing, etc. Okay, so that's something that I totally encourage. As I said, it's a part of your membership. When you purchase your membership to a place to be, that's part of what you get access to. And so if it's something that you feel would serve you or support you, then I would love to have you in there. Okay. Whew. Any questions about that? No? All very clear. That's good. Proud of us. Okay. So that's me done with all my talking. I'm so delighted that I got through it all. Thank you for your patience. It's not easy to listen to someone just continue to talk for a long time. So hopefully I'm preparing you for all the brilliance in every single module where you'll be spending a lot of time with cyber me. So hopefully that'll be good. Yes, it is exciting that there's a desktop version. I didn't realize there was, but then I went digging around the website and I was like, okay, cool. So it's nice to have all all the options. Okay. Last chunk of our time together is for Q&A. And I would love to hear if you have any questions about anything. Logistics, logging in, the content itself, the Telegram, my ideas of things that I want to do, whatever. Payment problems, anything. Yes.
As you know, Bianca, I had a little bit of issue. I'm fairly okay with technology with that initial sign up. Um, I kind of have to go around there a couple times to, and then only when I get your the tour email, it made more sense to me. So I don't know if it's the application or I don't know if it's really a question, but just a comment of the initial sign up process to me didn't land me on the page that we just visited for some reason. So, what would you suggest if someone is experiencing any issues once they purchase your program?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think what I might do is I send everyone, like each of you would have received a welcome email as soon as you signed up, which had some information about how to log in. But now that the tour is recorded, I think I'm going to include the tour link into the welcome email so that people can watch. And I know it's a bit long, so maybe people might not want to watch the 20 minutes, but what I might do is just add a timestamp of like, here's me showing you how to log in and access your information. So at least they could watch me do what I just did today, and they could get a sense of how to access the information. So that's my first thought. And if anybody else has the same issue that you had, I hope that they'll also send me an email and let me know. Because if it ends up being a thing that multiple people are having trouble, I'll probably reach out to the company that, that provides this software to me so that I can ask them, if there's something that I need to amend so people don't have that issue.
Thank you. I think it might be just a user error, but it just made it more clear to me once I got the easy to follow dedicated information on just how to log in and register. It was just easier to do it that way, I guess.
Yeah, definitely.
Thanks. Thank you.
You're welcome. That makes sense. And hopefully you'll have no problems now logging in because I know you're going to be diving in. I can't wait. I can't wait to hear your insights. Any other questions? I would love to hear them and try to answer them to the best of my ability.
I don't know. I guess it's kind of a question. So obviously you're gonna have all the pre-recorded sort of stuff that's accessible within the portal. But I'm sure I read somewhere that you're gonna be doing live workshops as well at some point. Did I read this? Am I making this up? I did read this.
You read
Um,
that.
are they gonna be included as part of the membership? Sorry, I've got a cold, so I'm like speaking, but it's not coming out properly.
No
But are
worries.
they gonna be included as part of the membership, or are they gonna be an extra? And then also, are they going to be like, is completing all of the tracks going to be a prerequisite to being able to do the live workshops?
Okay, great. Brilliant questions. Thank you. So, yes. So, just let me zoom out for a second because that is important. When you purchased your membership, what you get access to is every single resource that is in the portal, which right now is a full stress management program, but it will also include every live event that I do going forward. My plan is to do 2 live events every month. So you will all have access to those in the portal in the sense that I will record it. So even if you can't make it, you will get the replay in your portal. And it is not, there are no prerequisites for you to attend. In fact, some of the workshops that I'm planning to do are actually going to be just like revisiting a workshop that's already in the portal so that you have the opportunity to come and do it live if you want to. For example, I'm going to be doing on a regular basis understanding your stress profile with folks, right? Because it's like, yes, I could listen to that workshop in the portal, but also I could come to the live one and go through the results live with Bianca and whoever else is there and have that experience too. So there's no prerequisites to attend any of the workshops. One of them every month is going to be some sort of live movement practice. That's my intention as of the day of recording this. It could change. You know me, Caitlin especially knows that I am very much an experimenter, so all of this could change, but my intention is to offer a live movement practice as one of the live offerings. And that's a part of your membership. So when you pay for this membership, you pay for access to all the resources that are in there, and there will be 2 live events every month. There's no prerequisites and they do not cost extra money for you to attend. One thing that I will start doing though is for those workshops, I will open them up to the public as well. So when we meet, members will be allowed to attend for free. People will maybe be paying to attend and it will be recorded and the replay will be uploaded to your portal.
Which software are you using for the broadcasting of the is it Telegram or Telegraph? Excuse me. I never used it, but is that where you're going to
No,
be
I'll be
doing the
doing I'll be doing the live workshops on Zoom. So
Zoom?
you'll all
Thank
get
you.
a Zoom link. Yep. Great question. That's a great question. Yeah. Does that answer all your questions, Nicole? Yeah. Okay. Brilliant. Thank you for asking that. I'm very excited about the live workshops. Like when I envisioned this months ago in my head, I wanted the program. So when the doors open officially, for those of you who are watching the replay, you'll be in the official opening times, right? The full stress management program is in there. And that's the basis of everything. But then once the live events start, the goal is just to continue to add brilliant and informational and supportive content to continue to support you all throughout your journey. Because I don't want you to just come in and do the program and then leave. I want you to stick around and continue to develop your relationship with these tools and continue to benefit from having me as a support and having the community as a resource and just having a place where you can learn to manage and stay on the long path with the continuous journey of managing something that is just an inevitable part of being human, which is stress. And it's not necessarily a bad thing either, but I'm not going to get on that soapbox. You'll have to watch the Intro to Stress workshop to hear that. But yeah, so the goal is that, this is something that we all grow together and that it continues to serve you so that you continue to feel like it's a valuable resource in your life. That's one of my intentions that I'm holding in my heart, and that I'm also working to contribute valuable content to keep you all feeling supported. So, any other questions?
This
Did
isn't
I?
really a question, and it's also not totally, well, I mean, I guess it's positive feedback, but not like suggestion feedback. Um, but I think it's really good how easy, like how much of this is brought off the screen as well. Like despite having designed the PDF, as I'm going through, like I'm physically copying things down and like writing it, which works better for my brain. I like that that's really easy to do. And like I was really happy that the Telegram, like there's a desktop version as well, because I've been like untethering so many things from my phone. So I probably won't interact with it on my phone at all. But like, and probably because like phone and screen things are a stressor for me. So I think it's really nice that it's actually like, yes, it is based in the screen, but like with a movement practice and with things that I can physically write down so easily as well. Like there's so much of it that exists still off the screen, which I think is really good and like a good option for a lot of people as well. Yeah.
I love that. Thank you for sharing that. I think you're highlighting a really important and possibly a unique aspect of this membership. And I think that's just because of my own quirkiness. Like, I am such an auditory learner. I cannot stand to sit at a screen and watch a video. It's just not going to happen. So I'm the type of person that even if it is a video, I have my headphones in, I'm doing my dishes, I'm taking a walk, I'm cleaning my room, I'm folding my laundry while I'm listening to it. I feel like I learn better that way. I feel like I'm less stressed when I'm learning. And that's the important thing too, is in order for a person to be learning, like actually in a learning state, they cannot be stressed. Those two things cannot be happening at the same time. So a lot of what I have created is offering options as well for you to get into your body, get into your life. Like, you'll see every single module that has a video also has an audio version of the video. That's just because of like, I wish every membership I was a part of had that option, because I listen to it like it's a podcast anyway, but then it drains my battery and my data because I'm just playing videos on my phone all day. So yeah, I really do feel like so much of this, even though it's delivered in a digital format, the intention is to bring you back into connection with you, with yourself, with your body, and with information that can hopefully simplify a lot of the noise out there about this narrative that we have culturally around stress and hacking, biohacking your life and biohacking your stress and all these things that, quite frankly, in my opinion, we don't need to do because it can be simple. So thank you for that. Feedback, non-feedback, question, non-question. Yes, Fernando.
That same feedback motion, I totally agree with what just said, and I also noticed that you offer one-on-one consultations on the website, which I think is fantastic as a more personalized. Yeah, not everybody follows the same routine, but I love that availability of the offline content when one wants to just jump in and do something for 5, 10 minutes, and also, if you want a more formal meeting, that they can set up one-on-one meetings with you, which I will highly recommend based on experience and how much it has helped me. So I do hope that folks take advantage of that as well.
Thank you. Yeah, I love that. Yes, so I guess one of the other perks, let's say, is just that you'll have, as a member, you'll have first access to my calendar. So like you'll have priority access. There aren't necessarily any discounts for one-to-one work, not at the moment. It's something I'm thinking about, but the benefit is that you will have a priority. So if a member wants to have a session with me, they will have priority access to my schedule over someone who is not a member. So that's the way I'm doing it right now. And yes, you absolutely can take advantage of that if you're going through something and you also want the personalized one-on-one accountability, support. You can book a session, you can book a series of sessions. This program itself is basically the structure of what I take clients through when I work with them privately. So that's also why I wanted to like download it, get it out of my head, and have it recorded for people to have access to. But I am available, and if you're watching this on the replay and you are someone who wants to investigate working with me privately, just let me know. Or just book a session. It's available on my website. So if you book it, I'll see you there. All right, that's awesome. Any other questions from anybody? No? Okay. Well, thank you all so much for this. I'm going to stop the recording because I want to upload this to the portal. And yeah, and then we'll go from there. I'm debating. No, I'll stop it now. Okay, I'll stop the recording.